welcome to the Zadzooks Happy Hour, a podcast providing commentary on the latest in film, TV, games, and comics. My name is Todd Stoll, and I'm joined by 25-year veteran reporter covering pop culture, video games, and technology for the Washington Times, Joseph Zadkowski.
Hey.
Man, we're just on?
We're on.
You're not even taking a break? You're not even doing a test? You're just in?
No, I think we're in.
Diving in.
We're in. I've got a lot to say about one of our screenings that we did. I don't know about you.
You seem more angered by it than I do. I just found it meh. You know, it was a meh.
No, I was annoyed by the whole thing. So we screened Justice League. You did the 4K. I did the Blu-ray.
Right.
And right off the bat, I have a lot of problems with this movie.
Okay. Go.
First of all, why the hell did they have to CGI Henry Cavill's mustache off his face for reshoots? It looked awful. I mean, really bad.
You know what's really odd about that is, aren't makeup artists pretty good about putting a mustache on somebody?
Couldn't you make him a little fatter? Or, like, paint it green?
Why couldn't they just shave his mustache and then put a fake mustache on him?
Paramount said no way. For Mission Impossible 6?
How could you tell the difference?
I don't know.
I mean, really? I think makeup designs reach the point where you can put a fake mustache on somebody and they nobody will know it.
I mean, if I were Warner Brothers, I think I'd be pissed.
For $25 million to fix that, they could have gave Paramount $10 million and they could have put a mustache on him with real hair glued on one bristle at a time.
Yeah.
One filament, one hair at a time.
So I had a hard time getting past that because every time you saw Superman, half the time his face was
Looked
CGI.
weird.
Looked weird.
I didn't notice, and I was looking too. I tried to spot that.
Dude.
I was more aggravated with Steppenwolf and how fake he looked.
Okay.
It just didn't look real.
And then on the CGI spectrum, so they're at the family farm, and they're reuniting Lois Lane and Clark Kent.
Right.
And the entire field is CGI, and you can tell it's CGI. Like they're just.
You mean the cornfield?
Yeah, it's all CGI'd because
Looked
they have
good.
this nice sunset, but you can see it. It's like just really bad CGI. Like, what did they do? Did they just rush this thing out? I mean, I know they had reshoots, and I know that there were problems, but so that's it. First, that was the first thing. Was that I could see CGI all over the place in places I probably shouldn't be able to.
Right.
Okay. The second thing.
Well, it looked worse. Steppenwolf looked worse in 4K.
Steppenwolf looked awful.
The movie looked generally pretty great in 4K, except for some of the Steppenwolf stuff.
Well, why couldn't they have, again, put Steppenwolf as an actor with prosthetics? Instead,
I think they did, didn't they?
I think he's probably wearing one of those skin-tight suits with dots everywhere,
right?
And they drew over him,
right?
But like, can't you just use forced perspective to make him appear bigger and actually dress an actor?
He's supposed to be 9 feet tall,
right? I mean, Josh Brolin at least is rolling around, as Thanos.
They figured it out in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, I mean, it looked really bad. Okay,
the dwarves.
So that's my first one. Is the CGI was awful. The second one, they never seemed like, for a group of people who like independently in their own films have taken charge and leadership and done things. Clearly, no
idea what's going on.
Nobody
right?
knows what to do.
Wandering aimlessly in the Batcave, right?
It's just
like circling like wind-up toys.
I mean, like Wonder Woman, for example. She's like, "Oh, so you want me to take the lead?" And it's like, that shouldn't even be a question. You're Wonder Woman. Take the lead.
You're a god.
Yeah, take the lead.
There was. Oh, did you laugh at any points? The only laugh I got out of that movie was when all the Flash stuff was just flat. I just did not find that funny.
And I know why. Because you've seen it before in X-Men.
Oh, yeah, easily.
You've seen the same exact thing.
And probably on the TV show.
And I don't know the character's name in X-Men, the really fast guy in X-Men. I can't think of his name.
Oh, my God.
You're right.
Quicksilver.
But they shot it the same way.
But the Quicksilver scenes are awesome.
And they're hilarious.
They are funny.
But he even, like, at one point, he, like, reaches out
Yeah,
and, like,
for the sword.
pokes back Wonder Woman's sword.
Right.
And, like, I mean, granted, he stumbles around. Like, he was okay. I mean, he's actually a pretty good Flash. I mean, no problems there.
But TV show one's better.
Yeah. So, like, they all just sort of don't really know how to work together. But it just was forced.
That's a good word.
It was forced.
I thought it was funny when Aquaman sat on her lasso.
Yes, that was funny.
Okay, that came out, and that's definitely a Joss Whedon specialty. Okay, so that's fine.
Do you think this movie would have been different if he directed it?
Oh, yeah. But I don't think I can't guarantee it would have been better, or if it would have been just an Avengers reboot.
Avengers
which I would
works.
have taken.
Yeah, Avengers works.
You know?
Okay, so that was my second problem. And I guess let's go back to the CGI for a second. The underwater fight scene in Atlantis.
Yeah, you didn't like it.
Why?
What? Okay.
What the hell was going on there? It was stupid.
But that was just a fight between Steppenwolf and Aquaman, right?
Well, and all the Aqua people.
Aqua people?
Yes.
Aqua minions?
Aqua people.
Okay.
Okay. So the third thing is Metropolis and Gotham, the world is mourning the death of Superman. And it's a horrible thing. This is why Steppenwolf comes in.
Right.
Yet Superman is revived, and it's not like, hooray!
In a really lazy way, by the way.
But it's not. It's not even that. Like, it's just like, oh, okay, well, apparently let's not celebrate the fact that Superman's back, our savior.
But the thing is, we already knew he was alive.
Yes.
Unless he was a Jedi in the coffin, raising stones up. In the last movie, remember?
But the public didn't know.
The public did know. They saw the final scene of the movie.
No.
Oh, okay, I got it.
In the world.
Got it.
And so, people witnessed him coming alive again.
I believe in the comic book, he ended up in the Fortress of Solitude in some area, entombed, so that his power would return. And then somehow he ended up on another planet for a while. Mm-hmm. I mean, they could have, vibed and riffed off that a little bit.
Right.
But
the fact that Superman is back and no one cared.
There were no parades. There were no. I guess we're in the middle of an intergalactic war. So
in Russia, of all places.
Oh yeah, near
like,
is that 3 Mile Island?
Nah, it's like Chernobyl. I don't know what that
3
was.
3 Mile Island. Sorry.
So that was a problem for me.
And everybody was depressed.
Yeah. Okay. So the only other
I even put that in.
The only other question is, and I for some reason keep forgetting his name. Cyclops, the robotic guy. Cyborg. Thank you. They give him a backstory about. Okay. So
his dad is the scientist at Cyberdyne.
Yeah, he's the one who creates the Terminators, which I was like, oh, so this is how it all starts. He does it to his son, and then Judgment Day comes. No, so my issue was that notice how he's sort of sneaking around, following them, but meanwhile, every time he's moving, you hear. How the hell does nobody hear him? He can't be quiet. He can't sneak up on anybody.
Man, I didn't notice that either.
He's got lights coming out of him.
Yeah,
he can't be stealthy. And then out of nowhere, he has no problems. Nothing in his armor causes any problems when they run into Steppenwolf. But the second he sees Superman,
he's
malfunction.
Right.
What the hell was that?
You're grilling me like I'm a screenwriter.
Come on, man.
I have no idea.
Come on, man.
I don't know.
And you know what? The actor was great. He was good. I liked him.
I liked him too.
I liked him a lot. I mean, the cast together is good. It's just it wasn't there.
But they didn't have anything to do.
No.
They didn't interact with each other.
This movie, I think, was like 2 hours flat, right? Let me see. 120, 2 hours.
It's a long movie.
But it's not long enough.
It probably needed to be 3 hours.
It needed
easily.
I don't know what they did that they could have done differently.
Right.
But they cut to
There's no deleted scenes on this either to help.
There's nothing.
At least in Batman v Superman, there was a separate cut, which for me made it a better movie. Here, I got nothing.
And, I mean, Affleck was fine, I guess. I mean, the scene where the Batmobile gets destroyed for like the 50th time, I'm a little over it.
How about the Nightcrawler? K-N-I-G-H-T. That was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was all right. I did like the his plane too that he had. I don't remember what they called it.
It's like a cargo plane, right?
Yeah, I guess it's sort of like the Batwing, but like a heavier version of it.
Yeah.
The Nightcrawler was cool, but it didn't. It seemed a little slow to me for something that you would think you would need. I mean, the fight scenes were pretty decent, but again, it was just sort of like I didn't understand how Steppenwolf could. I'm gonna ruin it, but how he could be flinging people around like they're peasants, Superman.
And then the minions turn on him.
And then his minions turn on him because he's afraid. Like, because his minions are basically zombies who are fueled by fear, and they attack you for fear. And then for this guy who's like,
invincible. He is the uncle of Darkseid.
And then the last thing is that Superman could have ended that
seconds.
20 different ways, and he's like beats the crap out of him, and then he takes off for a while, and then he comes back, beats the crap out of him some more, takes off, comes back. It's just like, or you could just literally throw him into outer space and be done with it.
And the whole team is basically waiting for him to beat the crap out of him,
right?
Because they can't.
They
can't close the deal.
And so the final scenes, you see Bruce Wayne and Alfred and Wonder Woman.
What's her name? Gal
Gadot.
Gadot, who is great, by the way. She had nothing to work with, and she at least...
She's so good.
Her smile was great.
No, she's just really good.
She is
Wonder Woman.
Just like Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man.
Yeah,
And by the way, it's about chemistry. I just saw the latest Avengers trailer, and Robert Downey Jr. is interacting with Chris Pratt for like 5 seconds. And it's funnier than anything that was in JLA.
Yeah.
Any forced humor scene in that entire movie.
The guy who plays Aquaman, who was the Khaleesi's husband in Game of Thrones.
Drago. He's good.
Really good.
Yeah.
Affleck's not a bad Batman, but the material hasn't been very good. What I sort of see with his Batman is it's a little too cartoony. I look back at Christopher Nolan's, and there's no cartoon to that. That's the real deal.
Guy, right?
Flash, again, good actor.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, great. I mean, these cast members individually are fine. It's just the material they were given was minuscule and weak.
The big mistake I made was coming off of Thor Ragnarok. There was no chance I was ever going to like Justice League.
But why? What I just don't understand is like, Warner Brothers has this amazing franchise, and they can't figure out what to do with it.
They're doing a good job in TV.
Yeah.
I've held Supergirl is good. I enjoy it. Flash is good. I enjoy it. People really like Green Arrow. So,
but I mean, what's going on? I don't understand it.
And it was $300 million. If you and I could take $300 million and come up with something as good as that.
Yeah, I mean,
I just what are they spending on?
See,
even if the actors commanded premier money, what would you think those actors would cost? The 5 or 6 of them, $10 million, $20 million?
But here's what I think's happening. WB is so protective of their brand that they are not letting people experiment. Like the early days of Marvel,
right?
Where they were defining this world. They're like, there's no roadmap. There's no 12, 15, 20-year roadmap for these
films,
things.
Right?
They're
just
just
happening.
They're just being
they're
thrown
reacting.
Together.
They're not planning.
And what are they going to do when Affleck bows out?
They're going to be stuck.
I mean, what are they going to do? Are they going to have a new Batman show up?
How many movies has Downey Jr. been in now? 6, 7?
No, more than, because Spider-Man.
He had 3 Iron Men.
He was in 3 Iron Men.
2 Avengers.
Soon to be 3.
Yeah.
And there's 2 of those Avengers. He was in
Spider-Man.
I think he was in Civil War, Captain America, right? Civil War.
Oh, yeah.
So we're talking 9 movies.
Yeah.
So in the end of the movie, Gal Gadot, Wonder Woman, Ben Affleck, Batman, and Alfred, played by Jeremy Irons, are essentially reviewing the
old Wayne Manor.
Is that what that was?
I think it is.
Because to me it's like the Justice League. What is it? What's the name of their headquarters?
It's JRLA headquarters.
Yeah, well, that's the headquarters,
right? But it's the gutted out Wayne Manor. They're rebuilding.
Oh, see, I didn't get that.
I think that's what it is. But it is going to be the Justice League headquarters.
Mm-hmm. And there's only 6 of them with more to come. And they already showed Green Lanterns.
They showed a Green Lantern.
They also showed what appeared to be Leonidas from 300. Did you notice that?
That was Hercules, wasn't it?
I don't know, but it looked
I think it was Hercules.
It looked very 300-esque.
Because they're going to need that, because Lex Luthor is now out. Did you watch the second scene?
Mm-hmm.
Who plays Lex Luthor? What's his name? Jason?
Michael Shannon? No.
No. Jesse Eisenberg.
Thank you.
And he meets Deadpool, who's kind of a core member of one of the iterations of the Legion of Doom, or whatever they're going to call it.
But how is that supposed to work? Because isn't Deadpool now technically a Marvel character?
No, it's not Deadpool. Deadshot.
Deadshot. But do you think they're going to introduce like Harley Quinn and Deadshot?
They could.
You think they're going to bring out like Killer Croc? They're all going to come in?
I don't know. I don't think there's going to be another one of these movies. I don't think they're going to do another Justice League.
Because Fantastic Four is a part of this too, right? No, that's now Marvel.
That's Marvel. It's always been Marvel.
What's the other one that there's like a group of people? I don't know. I'm blanking. All I know is this movie wasn't very good.
Teen Titans? Is that what you're thinking of?
Yeah, I don't know what it is, but like, there's nothing to go on here. It's all been disappointment after disappointment. The only Batman that was good was Christopher Nolan's, and I would argue Tim Burton's.
Yep.
But that's it.
Absolutely.
And those were the only like superhero movies that DC/WB has put out that have been good. Unless you want to argue that Schwarzenegger playing Mr. Freeze was a good movie.
No. The Val Kilmer one was passable. That was Riddler and Two-Face.
And Joseph Gordon-Levitt being Robin. They could have done something with that.
Yes.
I don't know what happened there.
And I don't know if you know this, but Steppenwolf and Parademons and Boom Tubes and Mother Boxes is all a creation of Jack Kirby again.
Mm-hmm.
And there was no idea that there was a Jack Kirby in that movie.
But isn't Steppenwolf a minion of like a bigger...
Darkseid.
Yeah, Darkseid.
He's an uncle to Darkseid.
Right.
On the planet Apocalypse.
So you would think that why wouldn't they set up Darkseid as the next villain, a la what they did with...
Yes.
Like, you know...
He should have been the villain. I don't know what they're doing. So...
I don't know.
I'm sorry.
I don't know if it's studio interference or what it is, but it just seems like they're not hitting it.
Well, they were complaining that they cut them down to 2 hours. The movie had to be 2 hours. It couldn't be longer. And it should have been like 3 hours.
Isn't the Avengers like 2:30?
Oh, yeah. And the Star Wars movie was 2.5 hours.
Yeah.
That's got, I don't know.
I don't know. Suicide Squad was not great.
No.
And it's just disappointing. I'm rooting for him. I really am. I want to see DC knock something out of the park. Wonder Woman is the only one that comes to mind. That's a recent film that has just crushed it. And you have to believe that her boyfriend
Chris Pine
is coming back somehow.
How does Steve Trevor come back?
How did they kill him off so quickly?
He's still mourning him in this movie.
He's got to come back somehow.
But he will be 80 years old.
No, I think that they
did that in the Captain America movie.
I mean, they could have used the device that they had to bring Superman back to somehow attack like a cemetery, and all of a sudden he's like, "Hey, I'm here, and I'm only 20."
Digging up his grave was pretty creepy too.
Yeah.
I think they could have did that a little better.
Yeah.
And there's no way he wouldn't have been buried in the Fortress of Solitude. Zero chance. So, sorry. We tried.
Well, we didn't try anything.
Yeah.
We watched and we were frustrated just like most people were.
But everyone got paid. There were no bounce checks in this production for $300 million.
C minus.
Yeah. I'll agree with that. C minus. I need better.
Wait for it to come out on Netflix.
Wait for it to come out. Wait for the Avengers movie to come out.
Communities Digital News, built by the writers and editors that deliver the news 24 hours a day. Visit comdiginews.com. That's COMMDIGI news.com. And support the next evolution in news.
All right. So we also departed and did some claymation and animation.
Claymation? Stop motion animation.
Yes. For Robot Chicken's, I don't want to get the name wrong. The Robot Chicken Walking Dead special, Look Who's Walking, is the full title. It's 23 minutes?
22 minutes.
Yeah.
And it was funny.
It was really good.
And it was a great relief after watching the train wreck that is now the Walking Dead TV show.
Yep.
So
many of the cast members from The Walking Dead lend their voices, including
which was cool.
Andrew Lincoln, John Bernthal, Sarah Wayne Callies, Norman Reedus, Stephen Yeun, Lauren Cohan, Chandler Riggs, Michael Rooker, Melissa McBride, Lennie James, Scott Wilson, Herschel, Josh McDermitt, Jeffrey Dean Morgan, and Daniel Radcliffe. I guess I forgot he was in that.
Oh, you don't remember where he was?
No.
Really?
No.
So for the Terminus musical number, he's the lead singer and dancer.
I would.
How funny is that?
That's ridiculous. That dude, I feel like, is up for a good time.
Yeah.
I feel like he's
after he did that Dead Body movie.
He's in on.
He'll do anything.
Yeah, he's in on it, right?
Yeah.
Like he's up for whatever.
Right.
You know, he's like, I
like him.
I got Harry Potter money.
He's got
man.
Harry Potter money. He can do anything. He can't lose.
Because how many Harry Potter movies were there? 8? No, there was 8. Yeah, because there were 2 of them.
Yeah.
And you have to believe after like the first 3,
he's set.
He got Harry Potter money.
That's right.
He's set. Including, of course, Seth Green, who it's his production company. And
what's his name? Matthew Senrick is the other guy who works with Seth and puts this together. And you know what? This is funny stuff. It takes place in the future at the U.S. Walking Dead Museum, and there's this really dorky, nerdy guy walking around looking at all the exhibits, and all the exhibits are like embellishments of what really happened. So at some point, this old man shows up in the corner to say this is a bunch of BS, and it's Carl. And man, it's funny to see like 60-year-old Carl in the sheriff's hat, just talking about it.
So, adding to the credits for this, it was written by Seth Green, Robert Kirkman, Breckin Meyer, who has done a bunch of like 90s movies, Scott Gimple.
Boo.
And then I wanted to point out a few other people in this. So Kirkman voices himself. Chris Hardwick is himself. Seth Green obviously does a bunch. Breckin Meyer.
Seth Green is the dork, the nerd.
Yes. And so Kirkman gets an executive producer nod on this one. So does Gimple.
Yeah, of course. Because they showed up to a production meeting.
I mean, yeah, my understanding is that they basically helped write this.
Yeah.
Which is, I think, actually sort of a really meta, fun thing to do.
So in the museum, there's a Terminus buffet with chocolate butt pudding. There's a make your own bullet. You know, like you put a quarter in usually, and they put the quarter back out.
You get a flattened penny.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
Yep.
With Eugene. So that's really funny stuff. But some of the skits that break off where they're reminiscing about what happened in The Walking Dead, Herschel boxes a kangaroo, which makes no sense, but it's hysterical.
I mean, but you know what? There was nothing like hearing his voice.
Yeah. No, it's even better. they do a musical number called the Negan Dip with Jeffrey Dean Morgan's voice.
Who's also, I think,
awesome.
He's also in it for a good time.
Right.
But Jeffrey Dean Morgan, before The Walking Dead, did a lot of Broadway, I believe.
I think so.
I think so.
He was great in The Good Wife.
Mm-hmm.
Negan meets Snoopy, which is hysterical.
Mm-hmm.
There's this thing with Glenn called Happy Glendings, where Glenn is basically brain damaged and out of his mind, wandering the house with Lauren. Not Lauren. What's her name?
Maggie.
Maggie. There's Negan does some floor golfing with Carl, and I'm not going to spoil that. This is funny. And not only is it funny, but they overload you with extras. There's actually 2 separate commentary tracks on this.
Well, yeah. And
2!
But, like, if you think about the special features, Sketches to Die For, the commentary, the Inside the Walking Dead special, Look Who's Walking, cut sketches, Backward, behind the scenes. I mean...
Cut scene was Rick walking in the hospital, and he meets Patch Adams, which is hysterical. I got here a note that says, trying to give Daryl a bath. Oh, this is the best. Double Dutch jump rope with Michonne's walkers.
Yes.
That is really funny.
Yes.
Now, the 2 commentary tracks, the one that killed me was Josh McDermott as Eugene shows up, and he's just like Mr. Potty Mouth, and he's just really funny. He's talking about the show with Seth Green and a couple other people. It's streaming banter.
I feel like there's more extras than there is like the length of the actual episode.
You're almost right.
Yeah, it's pretty close, right? It's about half and half.
And you know what? I could have used more of this. Could have used an hour's worth. They did all these Star Wars ones, and they were always great.
Yeah.
So feel free to mock more. And something I learned about what they were doing in production now is to build all these doll heads and pieces, they use 3D printers on set. So they sketch the thing digitally, feed it into the printer, and they get the head. That is like awesome to build these dolls.
Can you imagine if South Park were still doing it by cardboard cutouts?
Oh, God.
How painful it would be.
Yeah. Couldn't imagine.
See, the thing is that Family Guy also did a pretty good job of spinning off Star Wars. I thought they did, and they've talked about doing Star Trek because he's really good friends.
Well,
with
he's
Patrick
got that
Stewart.
show, doesn't he, right now, or is it off the air already?
The Orville? No, it's on.
Orville's still on.
Yeah, it was renewed. But yeah, I mean, anytime you can get a cartoon or an animation of any kind that does a spoof and does a solid spoof,
right?
And just it goes for it. And obviously, getting people to voice
the actual cast to come in.
I mean,
it takes them way out of their personality.
Oh, yeah.
Andrew Lincoln is funny.
Yeah,
he's really funny in this.
He's kind of a boring guy in person,
right? But he's funny here.
Yeah,
they fed him some really good lines. So anyway, huzzah to Robot Chicken.
Oh, that's an A.
It was an A.
Yeah,
easily.
Yeah.
I wanted more.
I mean, honestly, I don't know that I would spend $30 for a 22-minute episode,
but digitally you would. You'll buy it online.
Yeah, I'll buy it online.
It can't go for $30 online. This can't cost $30.
It's got to be $14.99.
Yeah, you think so?
Mm-hmm. I bet. Well, maybe not. I bet you could buy the individual episode.
Right.
And that might be like $4.
So, it's good.
Yeah, it was really good. So, next week, what are we doing?
I think we're going to do Star Wars. We're going to do Star Wars and maybe Dark Crystal. I want you to see the anniversary edition of Dark Crystal.
And I'm going to try to... Well, we should try to get the Disaster Artist.
Okay,
too.
sure.
I think we can do that.
Yep. That sounds good, too.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to that one. It was good, so...
I'm looking forward to Star Wars.
I've already seen it. Actually, since I've already seen it, I'm really more interested in what the features are going to be.
Right.
Because apparently there is a
scenes
where Luke is mourning the death of Han.
Which would be good.
On the island.
They should have had that.
They should have had that.
Right.
There was some... Oh, yeah. So apparently Tom Hardy, Bane...
Is in Star Wars.
Is a stormtrooper.
Yeah.
And there's a scene that they cut out where he runs into Finn, John Boyega.
Yeah.
And apparently they went to school together. They went to academy together. And this is when Boyega is dressed up and it's like Captain captain.
Yeah.
And he smacks him on the ass, and they cut that part from the because he's
Boyega does or Tom Hardy?
Hardy does.
Okay.
He's sort of like they make like some like Semper Fi or whatever
Right,
like that,
right.
and he smacks him on the ass, and he just looks startled, and they cut it, but it's in the extras, and it's out now, and it's
I can't wait to see that.
So some of that stuff's starting to trickle, and I'm pretty excited about what they're going to throw in there. Plus, hopefully they'll reveal some of the other people that were in it and like where they are in respect to the film.
Right.
Because I don't think you know where Prince Harry and Prince William are.
They were cut.
Were they cut?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
They were cut. So this is going to be good.
Yeah, I'm all for it. So
I'll be watching more Three Stooges episodes tonight.
I've
now found the Three Stooges on YouTube, so now I am appreciating once again the true masters of comedy. The true masters of slapstick.
the best one that I've ever watched.
Oh, please do tell.
And hands down is the best Three Stooges episode is the one where they're in court.
Disorderly in the Court?
Yes.
With Curly.
Yes.
It's a Curly. Yeah, you got to have a Curly.
Yes.
They're dancing. They're like, there's that one dancer in there.
Yes, and they're trying, and they're getting up, and they're trying to testify, and they're just...
Right. Curly's got to testify. Raise your right hand.
No.
Put down your hat.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
That one kills me.
I'm glad you're a Stooges fan.
How ridiculous it is.
Now I know why we're together.
I think honestly that might be one of the funniest ones ever.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
I'll make a list. Next week we'll go over some.
Should go over that. I don't think I've watched all of them, but I've watched enough of them.
Yeah. I've watched pretty much all of them.
All right. Well, that sounds good. Until
That's
next
exciting.
time. Yes. All good stuff.
Thanks for the 3 people listening.
Yeah. See ya.